Good evening and welcome to SVG-TV News for Friday, March 15th, 2019. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. Vincentians have been encouraged to reflect on the life and sacrifice of SVG's national hero, Paramount Chief Joseph Chatoyer, to make their own contribution to nation building. The advice came at the annual wreath-laying ceremony held here at Dorchester Hill yesterday, March 14th, 2019, in commemoration of National Heroes Day. Bavin Oliver tells us more in this report.
Annually on March 14th, Vincentians from all walks of life come together for the celebration activities held in remembrance of the life of Joseph Chatoyer, SVG's national hero. Among the activities held on this day is the wreath-laying ceremony at Dorchester Hill, at the site where Chatoyer reportedly fought and fell in a duel battle. The ceremony saw government officials, the leader of the opposition, and dignitaries from friendly countries lay wreaths at a monument built in Chatoyer's honor. Speaking in his capacity as acting Prime Minister, Montgomery Daniel said Chatoyer fought against imperial powers who were bent on dominating the lives and land of his people. Daniel said he is happy with the efforts being made by the government to recognize the sacrifice Chatoyer made.
This year, this administration intends to broaden the horizon at the Chatoyer National Park to make it a great tourism product. And we are hoping by next year, 2020, it is expected that Chatoyer National Park will become the center of all attraction for all activities to commemorate this day, National Heroes Day.
Also speaking at this ceremony was Minister of Tourism, Sports and Culture, Cecil McKee, who said the activities nationwide on March the 14th provide the opportunity for Vincentians to reflect on Chatoyer's sacrifice.
This activity and those later on this afternoon at Greg's, Sandy Bay, Oya and Fancy would allow us the opportunity to reflect on our lone national hero, Chief Joseph Chatoyer, but it also would offer us a teaching moment because we must draw from the positives of the life of Joseph Chatoyer and use that to inspire our people going forward. In doing that reflection, we must also look at what is happening currently. We must inspect our current situation and use that reflection to also inspire our people. To ask ourselves the question, are we where we are? Is this where we need to be to take this process forward?
Leader of the opposition, Dr. Godwins Friday, also spoke at the ceremony. He said Chatoyer fought for what he believed was right and encouraged Vincentians to do the same.
Small size presents challenges, certainly, but they also provide opportunities. It means that we are, not that we are powerless, but that we are precious. We must believe in ourselves and know that we can and must shape our own destiny. Chatoyer taught us that. Standing up for what is right is never a waste of time and energy. It is never a waste of a life.
Joseph Chatoyer was named National Hero in 2002 and remains the SVG's sole national hero. For SVG-TV Evening News, I am Bavin Oliver.
Hundreds of persons supported the Greg's Heritage activities for Heroes Day. Officials attending the event had a common call, that is, for all Vincentians to remember the significance of the day. Larissa Pugsley-Cade was there and tells us more in this report.
That was a group from Union Island performing one of the many cultural items at the Greg's Community Center yesterday as part of the National Heroes Day celebrations in the community. There were more than 10 huts built by villagers which were used to sell local dishes and other items. Minister of Agriculture and Area Representative Sabota Caesar told the gathering that discussions will be held this year on the way forward to make Greg's Community Center ground a heritage national park and called on all Vincentians to make note of the significance of National Heroes Day.
Because of their efforts, why we can come here and celebrate as free people today. Don't for a moment think that we are free just because there's a word called freedom. We have to fight for freedom. And we must continue to fight as a people to ensure that at no point in time in our history, and as we build and move forward, that there is a repeat of the past.
Other officials attending the event were Minister of Mobilization Frederick Stevenson, Opposition Leader Dr. Godwin Friday, and Cultural Officer Anthony Tibbles. They also used the opportunity to call on Vincentians to unite as one and learn more about the Garifuna people and their struggles.
Very happy to see a large turnout here this afternoon here in Greg's. It is important for us to understand where we came from. It is important for us to understand where we are today. And it is important for us to understand where we are going in the future.
And it is a good sign to see that all of us, all the people, no matter your stripes, that you come out today and you are together as one community.
Preparing, presenting, preserving all of the things that make St. Vincent enjoyable. And it is these that we share with our visitors and encourage them to continue to visit us, to come again more and more.
Garifunas from the diaspora were also in attendance, particularly from Belize and Trinidad. A number of persons attending yesterday's event said they are always happy to be part of the yearly Heroes Day activities in Greg's.
I'm enjoying it because I always there with the Garifuna. I just enjoy the cassava bread and madam go dumpling and things like that.
Oh, the fungi and fish, that's very nice. I love it. And you have roast pork and breadfruit. I love that.
That you enjoyed, or anything that you see that interests,
Yeah, I like to see all the people together having a party. It's really good.
Okay.
From Brazil, and I'm also from Richmond Vale Academy, and I guess what I see here and what I like is, one, the food is amazing, all the local food, and also to see all these beautiful people wearing very interesting stuff.
Reporting for SVG-TV News, Larissa Pugsley-Kidd.
Meanwhile, all of the huts mounted at the Greg's playing field yesterday showcased a number of local products and food, including cassava bread. Our news team spoke with some vendors who said it is a time of year they usually look forward to.
Well, if you notice, I sell milk and banana milk and breadfruit, milk waternut yam, I got my pumpkin, I have like a papaya and things still. Well, this is Heroes and things still, and we're trying to keep it original, local now. So this is the way it be. This is the way to go, local and local way. Fungi and fish, bam bam, and roast breadfruit and catfish, conchs, fritters, saltfish fritters, and everything like that. It's just for the day, from way back. You plant the cassava, reap, and you're going to buy the start from Oya, because that is where it comes from.
It is a day where we look at our great elders who are from the lineage of Fanny and from the last chief, which I am from the last Fanny generation also. So today is a real important day for the villagers in Greg's Church and for the people in Belize, Honduras, Guatemala, Mexico.
Where everybody comes out and make a little sell natural product. Well, this honey, I produce it for myself. I is the beekeeper. I have them in Carpan, so I bring them out to sell on Heroes Day. I usually go in town and Saturday time and sell too.
Another community known for its Heroes Day celebration is Fancy in the North Windward area. Patrons were treated to many local dishes as well as cultural performances and dance, drama and song. Speaking at the event, Acting Prime Minister and Area Representative Montgomery Daniel renewed a call for some form of reparation to be paid to the descendants of the Garifuna people whom he said were brutalized by colonial powers. Daniel said it is important for persons to know their past in order to move forward.
Out of all of this is that our ancestors who were massacred since 1763 that this government has called on the British government to pay contribution to all of the lives that were lost in the 18th century of our foreparents. It is important that we do that because the British paid individuals who did not have place of foot here in St. Vincent but had lands here in St. Vincent, and they were paid for their lands after emancipation. Why can you pay one set of people and you do not pay the rest? That's the question we have been asking. And so, today we reflect on our past so that it can help us to chart our way forward.
Several groups used their talents to entertain the patrons in fancy. Here is a sample of some of the performances.
Châteauye was a great man. Châteauye was a great man. He fought for the rights of our people. He fought for the rights of our people. They call us Caribs and Garifuna. They call us Caribs and Garifuna. Tell them who we be. Tell them who we be. They say we want like and like to fight. They say we want like and like to fight. We only fight for the shade of our land. We only fight for the shade of our land. Because the Europeans invade we land. Because the Europeans.
The Carnival Development Corporation, CDC, on Wednesday hosted a welcome home event for Gamal Skinny Fabulous Doyle, who, along with Trinidadians Machel Montano and Bunji Garlin, won the 2019 Road March title for TNT Carnival with their hit song, Family. The welcome party started at the Argyle International Airport with a news conference in the VIP lounge, attended by a number of government officials, representatives of the CDC, the Ministry of Culture, and the SVG Tourism Authority expressed gratitude to Doyle, who is the first Vincentian to win a Road March title out of state.
I can go into more detail about what the ministry does. But I go back to Skinny's professionalism and how he does it and what he has sacrificed over the years to make sure that he's gotten to where he is. When Skinny first started out, I remember him going into Trinidad and performing for free to make sure that his name got out there. And in everything that we want to do and accomplish in this life, I don't think there's anybody who has been successful who hasn't had to make sacrifices. I'm sure guys like Bunji and Marshall will say the same thing. And so I want to congratulate him and his team once again for making us proud. And as was said earlier, we've always been
have to make a decision. How do we break into the world market, the global market? I'm sure that you realize that you have the backing on every country in the Caribbean. We have already all accepted and embraced your music. Now that you have the impetus, now that you have the momentum, you must now, again with your vision, separate visions, because each of you would have done well in the international market already. But you have to have now a collective vision of how you can take it from being a top-class, mega Caribbean hit to a world hit.
The three Road March winners, Skinny Fabulous, Machel Montano, and Bunji Garling, were pleased with the welcome as they explained how they worked together to make Family a hit song.
Purpose. I feel like I was born to do music. I was born to just be of something bigger than myself, and I'm very happy that I am one of the ambassadors for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I want to say this: when I do music, you know, when you have a big race as a child and you come first, you always look in the crowd to see if your mom and your dad there to see and be proud. That is always how I feel about St. Vincent. When I go out and I represent and I hold that flag, no amount of recognition from outside would compare to the love and recognition I could potentially feel, and I feel right now from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So thank you so much for this press conference.
where we were going in the jungle and take some time off and figure out our next moves. But I would be more than willing to come out for something like a family tour that represent the whole Caribbean, because I think in that strength and in that power, with that message, we could fill places like the Barclays Center or Madison Square Garden or O2 Arena in London for the first time, only based on this concept and only based on what it says internationally as a message. So it will have to be if we could see beyond our individual intentions this year and really have a family vision with the right backing from St. Vincent, Trinidad and Tobago, the finance minister, extra, you know, the tourism departments, because these things are not easy to pull off as musicians. We have to go there to grind to feed our kids and to really find. But if we had the kind of backing where we could have the right promotion beyond shows like Ellen, beyond shows, you know, that could promote soca music and promote our message, I feel there's no other time than now. This is the greatest of all time for the greatest class.
That he was playing was Palance, and was a hip hop show, and the whole dance moving left to right. It's the same thing that is happening with family right now, and we ain't even really press gas yet. I'm not a boss or anything. Is that we ain't collectively sit yet and think about the road when now that carnival is done and we have to go here, there, everywhere. How is it going to work when we go these places? Because the people are already moving to it. So when we come in now, it's just to tap in now and really push it forward. That's really where it is right now.
The artists later took part in a celebration activity at Heritage Square, where they each received an award from the government and people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. 2 tour guides from Barely, including a former whaler, are encouraging Vincentians to preserve the environment. The 2 tour guides, who were recently on a wildlife trip to Argentina, briefed the media on Wednesday on a wildlife project they are undertaking in Barely, funded by the SVG Environmental Fund. The tour guides, Kirk Grant and Lennox Stevens, are optimistic about the project, which includes whale watching in Barely. They say the venture could be of significant benefit to the country's tourism industry.
Because more people will be involved in the business when they see the progress we will be making in whale watching. Because there are people right in Barely who never see a dolphin. Never, and they're living right on the beach, never see a dolphin jump. You know, so if we start with this project to take people for whale watching, it will be very good. It will be successful for us. As one the guy was telling us, it's like the golden goose. He always gives you an egg, but the day you kill it, the egg is finished. So if we take you out on a whale watching, we mightn't see whales, but we have different life that we can see. We can see some birds. We can tell you what the birds are. We can tell you how many meters down they go for feed. Because some bird go at least a meter down to catch fishes. In Argentina, all these are big market, and people pay a lot to go to see these things.
I think it's a good tradition, and then the help. Once we do everything finalized in the right way, I think it'll be good in our country, St. Vincent and Grenadines, from north to south, that you could get things set up in every aspect of the country. You have to build anywhere you could put it, make a farm of something. So anyway, people try when they come into St. Vincent, every Vincentian don't go everywhere. But someone could take from somewhere and take you out. Okay, let me go to Georgetown. We go have a view of something out there. We'll go to Bali, Shattibili, someplace.
SVG's Environmental Fund, which has been in operation for the past 2 years, supports 2 local projects, including the Barely Wildlife Project. Executive Director of the fund, Louise Mitchell-Joseph, said that maintaining wildlife's natural habitat is important for the environment.
Important things about wildlife tours is that they need to be done in a responsible manner, because if they're not done in a responsible manner, they can actually create a lot of harm to the wildlife. Because, for example, if you're going whale watching and you approach the whale or the dolphins too closely, it's another form of harassment of the animal. and you actually interfere with their habitat. So it's important when you're doing the wildlife tours that you learn about respecting the space of the animals and doing it in such a way that you don't interfere with the socialization of animals. For example, when you're doing a dolphin tours, you should not be feeding the dolphin because you would then get them out of sync with their natural habits.
The Barley Wildlife Tours is also supported by the Grenadine Partnership. Chairman Richard Moulton praised the two tour guides for their initiative, which he said has far-reaching benefits.
Nobody knows it better than they do, and so I think to help and encourage them in this endeavor is a very exciting and I hope developing trend that away from killing the wildlife but to preserving it and in a way that those of us who are land bound can go out and learn about these things and see these things in the wild. So
SVG's Gospelfest 2019 will be launched tomorrow, Sunday, March 17th at the Wilson Hill Testament Church. Chairman of the event, Michael Peters, said that persons are still registering for the festival, and like previous years, they will be hosting a series of workshops in the coming weeks. The festival will open on April 7th, 2019 at Victoria Park.
In the month of March, we have organized a number of workshops which are designed to help improve the standard in certain areas. So for example, we have workshops in MCing, we have workshops for dance choreographers, and we have a special launching of the festival on Sunday the 17th of March at the New Testament Church in Wilson Hill. At that launch, we will present to St. Vincent and the Grenadines the program of activities for 2019. We'll feature a lot of our gospel artists, the ones who are established and the ones who are new. Gospelfest is always about exposing Vincentian gospel expressions.
Peters is encouraging all Vincentians to support the festival.
It's in its 17th year, and we continue to appeal to Vincentians, churches across the nation, to be part of the festival. The festival has developed a number of our gospel artists, giving them the opportunity to minister on a national stage. Some have now been ministering beyond St. Vincent and the Grenadines into the international stage. So it allows persons to showcase their talents in song and dance and drama and poetry. And so it's very important for the gospel artists to be part of the festival. And of course, we always deliver high quality festival, and our admission prices are always in a range where people can bring the whole family because we want to reach the whole nation. So Digicel SVG